What's up, guys? We're Amateur Game Review, and today we're going to be talking about Demon's Souls Remake.
I have been super excited in the months leading up to the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, and it has mainly been, not for the new consoles, but for Demon's Souls Remake. This game has looked absolutely amazing, and when I first got my hands on it, I was not disappointed at all. This is the best launch title of this generation. This is the game to get right now. If you have a PS5, get Demon's Souls. To me, the reason why this game is a perfect remake is because of the gameplay. The gameplay is a one-to-one representation of the PS3's gameplay. They actually used original code.
And what blows my mind is the animations are obviously new, the graphics obviously, but it still feels the exact same way.
The time to hit, everything, it feels
everything
exactly
is literally the same except for the animations and the graphics.
The only things they changed, well, yes, the animations and the graphics, but the only things they changed were quality of life things, like hitboxes. It's a little bit easier to get backstabs and stuff. Item management is a lot better. Not the item weight, that's a problem, but
yes.
But like the actual item, like I can use 50 souls in one sitting instantly, not going to the pause menu, hitting accept, going back into the pause menu, hitting accept.
With that said, I will say there's probably some other things I wish they would have added from like later Souls games that would have made this game a little bit better.
Like what?
So for me, the health system, like with
the grasses and stuff.
Yes, to me, like it's okay, but to me, I feel Estus works better, in my opinion. Now I read an argument earlier saying that the grass gives it more of a survival horror element, like you're
picking up stuff to survive.
Yeah, which I guess I can see that. However, I feel for these type of games, Estus it works better in my opinion.
I will say this: there's two sides of it. One, I think the Estus system does work better. Two, they completely kept to the original. It's kind of hard to say they should have went with the Estus system because that could have thrown off different balancing issues and stuff like that.
So I'm not mad that they kept it though.
No, I'm not either.
For me, it's interesting to see like what has made the newer Souls games better in a way. However, I still like this.
But at the same time, like it's crazy to see that they literally changed nothing and this game is still fantastic. You're playing a game from 2009 essentially with better graphics, and it is the best game in 2020.
Okay,
or one of the best
games. Yes.
Yeah.
So about these new graphics, these graphics are absolutely beautiful.
They are.
This is a fantastic looking game, even without ray tracing, which I know that was a whole marketing thing with Sony and Xbox this generation. It does not have ray tracing, and it still looks amazing.
When you very first turned it on and you were in the tutorial area, I asked you, was this part even in the original game? And like I said, we just played the original game not that long ago. The graphics, they added so much to those barren hallways that just literally looked like concrete hallways. It was unrecognizable.
Yes.
It made you feel like you were this soulless person in this desolate area. And what really added to that also, the next point, is the sound and the fact that they recorded a whole orchestra. It's
different from the original, and some people prefer the original. I don't disagree with that personally. Like, to me, the remake music is just as good. It's different, but it beautifully fits this version of the game. It's
not necessarily better music, but it is very much more ambient, very echoey, like it is around you.
Yeah.
And it really adds to the whole Demon's Souls, Dark Souls aspect of stress, honestly. Like, I mean, you don't want to be stressed out playing a game, but when you're playing Souls, you are stressed out, and that is one of the keys. It's like overcoming the stress and the sense of achievement, and all it does is add even more to it.
Yeah.
Like we said at the beginning, the combat is one for one exactly the same as the original Demon's Souls, and it's Souls combat. It's nothing new. Anything they really did differently, other than the quality of life things, where and this is essentially quality of life, is you can roll in any direction, which really makes a difference.
It helps.
The thing with Souls combat is, and we've said this before about other things, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I hate to use that terminology because it sounds like it's good enough, but in this case, it's like it's already pretty damn perfect. The reason people play Souls is because of the gameplay. The gameplay is there.
it's a Souls game. That's really the best way to sum it up.
And that continues from the fighting grunts, fighting skeletons, to all the way up to the boss fights. Which the boss fights, there are some really good ones, and there are also some like really low lights of the series, I think, in here.
Yes, these aren't the best bosses in the Souls series.
That is probably my biggest negative to this game.
I have to say though, this was the first Souls game. There was nothing out at the time like this. That is a point that I wanted to bring up.
There's a lot of experimentation. You could see the seeds for the rest of the Souls series in here.
Even though this is a 2020 release title for the PS5, this is still a 2009 niche game.
Yes.
And it feels like that, really.
Yes.
In its own weird way.
The last thing that I want to talk about is the level design, like the Nexus, the hub world, and the 5 separate worlds. One of my favorite things about Dark Souls, the actual first Dark Souls,
interconnectivity.
Yeah, it felt like one giant spider web. I think that's some of the best level design. Now, that being said, there are some terrible levels in Dark Souls. There really is.
Oh, yeah.
But
looking at you.
Yes. I really didn't like the hub world and going to 5 different separate locations at first.
It's jarring after you've played the rest of the series, I feel.
And it's very linear.
Yes. However, they kind of brought it back for 3.
Yeah, they did. That being said, at first I didn't like the hub world and the 5 different worlds. I never did grow to like the linearity of it. The shortcuts are few and far between. There are no bonfires to save your progress, so there are some sections that are really hard.
Yes, and without the bonfires, it can take you a long time to progress through a level if you die.
Especially a few certain levels. The bottom of the Valley of Defilement is awful. But what it did great, that was absolutely amazing, was because it was 5 separate worlds, they were 5 separately really realized worlds. In the first world, the Bolitarian Castle, you feel like you are in a castle that has been under siege and it is broken down and beaten, and it looks and feels like that's where you're at. In the second world, it feels like some sort of rundown mining village that is, that they've uncovered demons basically in the ground.
All 5 worlds are unique.
Everything that they did in this game was fantastic. I think that we're going to look back at this game and say that this was one of the best launch titles in any console generation.
But I want this game to be remembered throughout the entirety of the PS5.
I think it will be. I think we will talk about this with things like Mario 64 and Super Mario World as like best launch titles. I think it's going to happen.
I agree. So that was our hot take on Demon's Souls 2020. Leave us a comment, like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter. Sometimes we stream on Twitch.
But probably not.
Probably not, because
if you made it this far in the video, we truly thank you for watching, and we will talk to you in the next video. Absolutely play Demon's